It really bothers me that the loudest voices in the black community and the most respected voices in the black community are Christians who worship the patriarch and the brotherhood. And a lot of women go along with this shit, you know. And it just bothers me that y'all could censor the stuff that Kanye said, but then you cool with Boosie saying some stuff like his son, he got his son some head when he was 16, you know, so then when his son is 30 years old and want everything but pussy, whose fault is that gonna be? You know, when he tired of a normal sex or regular sex, because he done had so much of it that his penis barely getting erect, swole out, you know, need a Viagra at 30, you know, or need some stimulation in a different way. So I'm just, you know, I'm not totally for Kanye, because I definitely don't agree with, you know, the patriarchy and the, you know, just always the brotherhood and the patriarchy and, you know, just further, you know, because that's how, you know, white supremacy is able to maintain itself, you know, because it's aligned itself with patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? You know, and that's why we have so many black men, you know, who are dating, you know, outside of their race. So many Negro men who are dating outside of their race and choosing to be with Caucasian women, you know, and by the time you get to the third generation, if he sleep with a Caucasian girl and then the children come out and the children biracial and they go mess with, you know, some Caucasians and they biracial, then that next generation will pretty much look Caucasian. And when we get to the next, about his great grandchildren will look completely Caucasian. So, you know, y'all could talk all of that black against white, but people playing this game in a bunch of different ways, you know, and it's still their bloodline that's living on, no matter what it looks like, you know, to the masses. Like, and I'm not against, you know, biracial relationships because, you know, I, for one, think that melanin is a gift, you know, and I would love for everybody on the planet to have more of it. So I'm definitely not against biracial relationships, but I just want to be clear in saying that black don't always look black. You know what I'm saying? Black blood can be in there and not necessarily look like it's there, you know, and everything comes from, you know, that gene pool. So, yeah. But we don't have any problem with, our patriarchs and our brothers and our fathers and our uncles, you know what I'm saying, getting up on stage, getting up on these platforms and saying things that promote children being sexually active, you know, at an extremely young age, and kind of shuns girls for being sexually active at a young age, but okays boys for being. How can a boy be sexually active at a young age and feel good about it? And the girl who he's being sexually active with at that young age, she should feel bad about it. So if you're raising girls differently, then what you're doing is harming girls. You're harming them psychologically, because the girls who these boys is playing with have a different image of themselves, because, as he said in the interview, these girls are being raised. I raise my girls differently. So you shame your girls who celebrate their bodies, but you uplift your boys when they do. And so you give these girls a complex. And there's no reason. The traditional way of raising girls explains why we don't have no females in the White House as of yet. Why black women who seize power and who walk in that power are demonized and viewed as angry black women or bitter, yeah. It's just a mess. But y'all can censor Kanye, who actually causes us to have a real conversation, whether you agree with it. It's not about agreeing. It's about causing us to have uncomfortable conversations. All of y'all jumped in line and talked about how, you watched George die, and how all of America was traumatized. I saw it, and I was not traumatized by that, because I've seen somebody literally get stabbed to death in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I've seen, death face to face. I've found relatives dead. So no, the frequency that the media had us on, that's what was traumatizing, not the death itself. It was the way the media put that out there. It was the way the story was told, It was the energy around it. It was how everyone was being programmed to receive that, so that, the movement could get started, it gave Masonic ritual tease. But I'm not going to go too much into that. But it just amazes me how so many of us are puppets, and we just can't think for ourselves, and whatever the gatekeepers say and whatever the gatekeepers approve, that's what we go along with. And and Kanye West is saying things to challenge community, and y'all keep talking about canceling him and and keep turning your back on him, because he's saying how he feels and what he thinks, and he's being authentic. And instead of y'all trying to find a common ground, y'all just as reactionary as he is, but then you want to talk about mental health. Then you want to have a conversation about mental health, but all of y'all are just as reactionary as he is. All of y'all are profiting, making money on your platforms from talking about him, using him to build your content and to build your networks, and sitting up here acting like you're so over him and you're so done with him. But every time you talk about him, you get views. Every time you talk about him, you get commercials running across your screen. You know what I'm saying? To keep you beat in your makeup and your weaves and your hair and your Timbs and whatever it else is you wearing, your name brand stuff. But you sit up and condemn him, but everybody tap dancing to some degree for somebody. And the stuff really makes sense. Like, I definitely don't have nothing against Jewish people, but if we look at them old plays, them old TV shows that used to come out, when they would have like the productions of the, Caucasian people playing, members of the Jewish tribe, and and the pharaohs and all of that. Like, this is how it's really set up over here. This is really modern day slavery. Like, it's still the same thing happening, and they told us the stories, when they told stories like Cleopatra and the Ten Commandments and all of that. Like, this is what's really happening in the industry, we have Caucasian Jewish people who are basically our gods and our pharaohs, and if you say anything against that, then that's anti-Semitic, or viewed as anti-Semitic, I guess, for the most part. But yeah, people are entitled to have different opinions, People are entitled to not agree, with everything that's being said. But to not have the conversation, I'm so tired of hearing Negro people and people who are indigenous to Turtle Island and this landmass. I'm so tired of hearing y'all saying it wasn't the right time. But when is the right time? That's the question I want to ask. When the hell is the right time? When exactly is the right time, huh? That's what I want to know. It ain't never the right time for y'all. It ain't never the right time to rock the boat. It ain't never the right time to go against the grain. It ain't never the right time, Child, we've been so busy trying to get ahead for the past 500 years. If we just follow, if we just do what we supposed to do, and we just focus on getting this money, and we just focus on doing, I'm focused on my money, and I'm just, I'm trying to keep my head down and get my money. How is that ever liberated a person? If anything, it's giving you more chains. If anything, it's gotten you more wrapped up in the system. It ain't freed you. You may can stun a little bit more, but it ain't freed you. It just gave you more chains. Kanye want to be the president of the United States, so Kanye gonna have to piss some of y'all off, and he can't just be worried about getting the Negro vote if he legit trying to win, so he have to walk a fine line of tap dancing, and being authentic, and from what I hear, I don't get he hates black people. That's not what I'm getting from his conversation. I've never got that he didn't care about black people, but what I do get from him is someone who is deeply rooted in patriarchy and the brotherhood, and the wealth that he's been afforded has caused him to start to look at a certain caliber of Negro people as maybe less valuable or less valid. And we do that amongst each other, the ones that don't have money. Like, we invalidate each other as black people, as Negro people. And we ain't got, and a lot of us don't have no money. So how is it wrong when somebody who has money actually is just honest about it. Got y'all bothered. Yeah, that's it. That's my 2 cents. I'm done.